It is your
What?
stuff. But we are, hold on, and we are offline because I don't want to do a live. And we are live now. So this is a Geek Out. I
Welcome to the
have
Geek
Rich.
Out.
Yes, I have Rich here from Gaming Still Life, and me as your host, also from Gunther the Geek. What do you want to start off with, Rich?
I don't know. What I've been doing. What have you been doing?
What have I been doing? I've
Playing
been
anything
playing,
cool?
I tried Sprint Vector. It is different. I actually, so, I just played some stuff on my Nintendo Switch the other day. It took like 3 days to download. Nintendo's got to fix that. They really do. It's really sad.
3 days
It's
to
annoying.
download.
It took 3 days because the Switch has connection issues. I know it for a fact. I can tell the Switch just has connection issues, and it's annoying. But it was
It plays
Resident
pretty good for
Evil
me.
Revelation 2. So
Oh, Resident
that's like,
Evil. I like the
yeah,
first
it's
one. I
like
played the first one.
it is a really good game. I got the first one, and then they had it on sale. I think it's still on sale right now. I don't know.
But I heard
It's
that
like
you can buy it on the memory card now.
yeah, that's how I you can buy it digitally or physical. I bought the digital version. I usually buy physical. It was on sale for like $15 or something like that. I bought it and it took 3 days to download. So the sale's probably actually over with now.
How many gigs is that?
It was like 25 gigs.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
plus yeah, and then you got to put them on like the micro mini cards. That's the thing I don't like about that. Even though
Yeah,
most of my games on Switch are on my memory card.
Yeah, I was actually really upset that Nintendo did that. It really upset me that it's 32 gigs. Like, you gave us 32 gigs on the Wii U, and the Wii U didn't turn out too well. So let's give us 32 gigs again. But you know, I've also been playing Standout a lot. Me and Glenn play that like religiously. I've gotten better, a lot better. And like I wish it worked for us the other day, but unfortunately it was too glitchy. But they updated it since then.
Yeah,
So
me and Guthrie got on that game, and it was just super choppy for me on my end, and it wasn't like just something that was happening to me; it was happening to him at the same time because we were both talking to each other, and it was like super choppy. But then you said you got on it the same night later on, and it was buttery smooth, and I got it on it the other day, and it was super buttery smooth. So I guess it's like networking at the time.
yeah, I think it was a network or server problem, but it's good now and it's amazing. And with the update, the graphics are a lot better. They need to bring back the helicopter. I love the helicopter. Me and
What do you
Glenn.
mean bring back the helicopter? They took it out?
Yeah, they took it out. I was so upset.
A lot of people were saying they wanted to take that out.
Because they can't handle the truth. All right, life is about winning.
I didn't really like it because it was like almost like it was like a mad dash to get to the helicopter. The first one to get to the helicopter, but then nobody's got a gun, because everybody's trying to get to the helicopter.
What you do is you team up with somebody. What me and Glenn do, we team up. We get in the helicopter. He'll take off. He'll take the bird up in the air so people can't just steal it. And then I'll go find a gun, and then I'll go both get guns. And then, he picks me back up, and we just shoot people down. I have fun doing it. I want it back, but it's okay. I don't need it. I'm still good without it.
I'm this close to buying PUBG. I want to try it out. It looks fun. It looks fun, but at the same time, it's not my really type of game. I just been playing VR too much.
I was thinking about getting it. Bryce has it. He's another Vive user. He's the only other person I actually know with the Vive, but he has it. He loves it. I got him into a Standout. He loves Standout. Standout's a really good game. It's just like PUBG, just in 2D. Or no, other way around. But it's in VR. I prefer in VR. It's more realistic, even though honestly, it's like going into Unity and just clipping and pasting images.
I just don't like the graphics.
Is the same grass
It's
everywhere.
so simplistic, and it's so janky how you climb with the menu buttons for me. And
It's the same thing for me.
like,
like I told you.
why didn't they just make it? You know, why didn't they just make it right here? You want make like the grip buttons. That's what the grip buttons are for. Make it to where you're climbing with the grip buttons. They made it natively climbing with the menu button for me, and it's this little tiny button right here next to the stick. Something you don't have though. Hello? And we lost connection. And this is probably going to happen time to time. And that's what happens when you own a Vive.
properly. So I couldn't climb properly. I like climb those. Is like I'll just run to the front door because I can't climb. But I learned how you gotta like thrust yourself forward. It sounds very wrong and dirty. But yes, thrust yourself in, like into windows and whatnot. These are the covers for the Vive. So the ones I got, they're really nice, as you can see.
Yeah, they're just so big.
The Vive controllers are big, but let me tell you something. All right, okay. So we don't get off topic.
And they're so expensive.
We'll talk about the Vive right now. So okay, my favorite game in VR right now is Standouts. I really like Rec Room too, but Standout's my favorite game right now.
Really? Right now
Hands
for
down.
me, I'm all Sprint Vector and all In Death right now. I love those two games. There's so many games that I got right now, but like right now, especially Sprint Vector has been my favorite game. Especially going online and racing against Sebastian, and I got on that one Lambo channel, and
Yeah.
I actually placed in their little Olympic thing, and I was hoping that like they would move on to the second challenge, but they're still doing the first challenge, and people are getting like crazy times. They're doing like 43 seconds now, and like I busted my butt trying to get that 58 seconds that I got or whatever I got. I don't know.
I couldn't. There's no way in the world I'd be able to do that. But Standout, like I'm loving it right now. Glenn got me into it. The Vive, the controllers, they used to. Okay, when we were playing, like, was it a week ago? We were playing Rec Room, right?
Yeah.
And
We were playing a lot of that tennis game. That like you're like in a little room.
racquetball.
Yeah, like little
Yeah.
racquetball.
And
And you were saying that I was flapping my arms and
your
that,
arms were flapping around. I'm like, I felt so.
but it was
I
the
could
same way
tell
for
the
you.
track-
When I would look at your picture, it looked like your arm was here and then like there was like blank space and then your arm would be right here. It would look the same exact thing for me, like for you. Like when I was looking at you.
What happened to me is I went like the hit and the controller kind of flying out of my hand.
Yeah.
The Vive controllers are very slick.
Well, that's what you got those padding for. That's what you had that
That's what I
cover
got-
for, right?
That's why I got these, and I didn't. Okay, I'll be honest. I did not purchase these. I was given these for. I was sent them for review. So they're awesome. I like them. I love blue. Blue is my favorite color.
It's like these I got for a review. I got these VR cover things, and they go on the faceplate, and I think they fit yours too, because anything that fits HTC Vive as far as these things will fit the Samsung Odyssey. And I was telling you, I was playing Thrill of the Fight. It was like a new boxing game, and it just gets soaked. But what I like about this, I can just rip it off, and I can put this nice dry one on, and I can throw them in the laundry. But I'm gonna have to buy more of these. These were sent to me, but they are actually a lifesaver. The original one, like this one, it's made out of like this leather. But these are all like super. When you put these on, it feels like you have pillows on your face. They're really worth it. I don't know. You need to like write, and all I did was write VR cover, and I was like, hey, you know, I saw. Oh no, they wrote me because I got their lenses. They're the same people who made my lenses insert, and they wrote me and they were like, hey, you want to try this out? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And they sent it to me, and they really are comfortable, but they will soak all the sweat up. But what's good about that is they soak it up, and you can just rip it off and put a fresh one on, and then throw it in the washer or something. So I want to get like quite a few of them, because now with like all these games like Sprint Vector and the boxing game and stuff like that, you know, you get soaking sweat, and you don't want to happen to what happened with that reality guy, Sebastian. He broke his
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah. I heard a lot of like we were talking earlier.
And that sucks. That's a $800 machine or $700 machine, and then to break like that. He said
it.
he was making it sound like the Vive is a very fragile piece of equipment.
I wouldn't say fragile because
I mean,
I've
it's
been
got like
rough with
wires
mine.
sticking out of it everywhere, and I mean, it's just got a
Wires
whole bunch
sticking
of
out.
stuff to it.
Mine is across the room, so I'm not gonna go grab it.
It's very
Um,
complex, the machine. I mean, I just think it's got a
there,
lot to it.
it is a hot mess of wires, but I have the newer cable, so they all go down to one instead of like having the three come off of
Yeah.
it. Um,
And you
so
said you
that's
had the audio strap on, right?
I don't have it on. I ordered it.
Oh.
I still waiting on it. I got it because I'm sick and tired of adding headphones on because the earbuds they just kind of like I start moving around and they just fall out. So I, the audio strap was like a must. Well, it's not a must, but it's a better experience because then you just got too many cables going on. Yeah,
But I
the
mean that's happened to a lot of people. That happened to Natty with the water got in it, the sweat, and that happened to Tribal Instincts. His got sweat in it and it broke. And yeah, you call up their service people and they're all really cool and stuff. But once you send it away and it's in their hands, they can say it's going to come back in 5 days, but it can come back whenever they want. And they
well,
could charge you
I've
whatever they
always had
want.
I've always had a good experience with HTC. And I never had them like I asked them like I messaged them. I got the English speaking people. Not like Sebastian, which got German since he's in Germany. Uh, but like I was having issue. One of my controllers would not sync. It would not sync at all. Like it was driving me nuts.
That happened to me one time. I had to undo the drivers completely and
Yeah,
then
that's what I had to
reload the
do.
drivers, and then it sunk. My left
Yeah.
controller for some reason. It
That
happened
was
one
my
time.
left controller too. It was my left
Yeah.
controller. I'm in Steam home and I'm like, where's my left hand? It's on, the controller's on, the light's on.
Yeah.
Where's my left hand?
Yeah, you just
And
couldn't
I
see
was
the
like,
controller. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, what is going on here? Like I could click the buttons, things would happen, but there'd be no physically like
What's so really
it's
cool now in Steam for us Windows mixed reality users is now our left stick will move us in like back and left and right and forward into the frame, and then the right stick will actually turn us. And like now, like that, like when I was playing In Death the other day, where I can like throw and like cock an arrow and like fire it at somebody while I'm moving side to side. So now I'm strafing. But the problem is the game wasn't designed for that. So you start moving too far away from where you're really supposed to be, and then something happens and like you die or you have to go back to a checkpoint. You are so off. Like it doesn't know where you're at. It just thinks it takes you back, but you're like 10 meters that way or something like that. So like all these games that weren't designed to have this type of movement, like it makes it good in some ways, but in other ways it makes it to where you can cheat. Like I was able to float In Death through a wall and go around the enemies completely and like float over the air and just go. It's in that one video when I announced the game. Did you? You
yeah.
probably didn't even see that part because everybody probably wanted to skip to the end and find out who won. Of the
No, I
competition.
watched the whole thing.
Did
I
you
don't
see
watch
me cheat?
everybody's.
Like I would float.
I did see you cheat. I watched. You cheat a lot.
No, 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 no. I was doing it because the game allows you to. It's not really part of the game. It's something that
It's a
Microsoft
glitch. It's a
wrote.
glitch.
Yeah, they
It's
wrote
a
it,
glitch.
but it comes in handy too because like in Sprint Vector, sometimes they want you to stand on that square, and when you stand on the square, it gives you a boost, right? That's where you're supposed to
Yeah.
be standing. But it's great because now I can move it to where I'm standing in the middle of my room, and I can move my body onto that square without having me physically move in my room. And it's really a godsend. It really comes in handy for stuff like that. But for other things, it's almost like a cheat, and it breaks some games.
So what's your okay? So since we're talking about mixed reality right now with your since that's what you use mostly, what is your favorite game and why is it your favorite game right now?
Hmm. Well, my
For your
favorite game
for
right
your mixed
now is
reality,
Fallout.
Fallout
Yes.
on your mixed reality?
No.
No,
Fallout.
no,
That's what
what's
I'm
your
playing
favorite
right
one
now
on
on my off time. Is I play Fallout 4. But
Fallout 4 is a good game. I actually really like it on the Vive. But then again, it was designed for the Vive,
but
so
see that I'm at a crossroad right now because like I am a console guy. So I'm like very console-esque. Like I like to use a controller. But I sold my PlayStation recently. So and I got a Oculus that came with a an Xbox controller. And I've heard so many good things about Xbox controller and the Xbox controllers are solid and they're great and this and that. But I'm having a really hard time adjusting to it because when I'm holding this controller, to me it feels like a giant potato. And I'm not trying to be say anything bad about the controller. The controller is well built. It doesn't. I'm so used to having a PlayStation controller. I'm a PlayStation guy. So now I'm noticing that aiming with a controller, especially when you have like a fast frame rate computer, it's a lot harder to aim with a controller and hit people on Fallout 4. So now I'm starting to like, I wish there was a way where I can use my mouse to aim and then hold my controller in my other hand and just use that to go back and forth because I hate using my three buttons to hit W, S, D, and A. I'm not used to it because I'm not a PC guy. I just built my I just put together my first computer in November.
for VR, yeah, for VR,
Yeah.
and it's you got a
And I
good deal
decided
on
to
it.
get a
So
channel too and so like all these games that I get and I really want to play and I really enjoy, but now with this channel and stuff like that, it's like I never have any time, It's like
yeah,
it's like a
so
new game comes out and I like it, but then I have to like it seemed like I had to keep trying new
you have to move
stuff
on to something
to
else.
make a
Yeah,
video to show you guys, and I love doing it, but I don't have time to really, but I do. I make time,
you
just like
do.
anything else.
So what is the verdict on your favorite game on your Samsung Odyssey, which is in mixed reality?
Oh yeah, on the Odyssey. Okay, on
Yeah,
the
Odyssey.
Odyssey. Oh
Did I say
man,
Galaxy?
let's see. No, no, because if you were to say the Oculus, like my choice
Yeah,
would be a lot easier. On that one, definitely, I'm really digging Lone Echo right now, and I love that game.
yeah.
And I've gotten to a point where I'm kind of like, you know, a little bit not stuck, but like you kind of get lost in that game. Have you played it, Lone Echo?
Uh, I played it with Revive.
See, I
I'm
couldn't
a
play it on my Odyssey. I did, it works, but there get to a point where you have to push the flashlight on your helmet on your head, and that it's really hard to do with an Odyssey.
yeah. Well, because that inside out
And
tracking.
even
So
sometimes with my Oculus Rift, it's hard to push the button sometimes. Neither is perfect.
really, well, I have like Glenn really likes that game. Glenn talks very highly of the Rift. I like every VR headset. They all have their ups and they all have their downs.
But definitely
Um,
Sprint Vector to answer your question. Sprint Vector.
Sprint Vector, yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's a
like
great
Sprint
game.
Vector. It's a cool game. It's not for me. I do like it, but it's just not like a game like I'm gonna like set up everything and I'm gonna play that. Like I don't have like the plan like
You only
schedule it.
play it for
I'm gonna
half an
play.
hour. I mean, you can play
Yeah,
it for longer. Depends on where you play. If you're trying to beat records and stuff like that, it gets really hard. But if you're just playing like multiplayer, it's kind of fun. You go on there. It's like it reminds me of Mario Kart. You go on there with seven other guys or whatever, and you just get on there and you just do, and you only play like for 30, 40 minutes. It's not a game that you can really sit down and really play for a long time. You know, but I've been getting into I played that Brass Tactics game, and that one's really like tweaking my interest. Have you seen Brass Tactics with the RTS game in VR
no,
where
I
you're
actually have
moving around
not.
the pieces? That is a
Oh
very
wait, no, what I did see it.
it's free. It's free right
Yeah,
now on you have to get the Oculus stuff, but you can still get it for free and play it for free. You just have to use Revive. But
Yeah.
you download it and it gives you the whole tutorial and like the first like little campaign that they have, and it's pretty interesting. And they have mechs. Like later on, like when you get more involved, you get like these tank type creatures and like these mechs, but they're like a classic looking robot, like if a robot was made back in like the Egyptian times. It's just kind of weird. It's pretty
Yeah.
interesting,
And
but
like I'll I'm gonna try it out. I'll download it. I'll give it a try. And I'll give my verdict on the next podcast. Because like I think more feedback's better. Um, but like I just can't get past like standout. Like standout to me, it's just it puts me in that memory of being in the military. It's not like
now
onward.
for me,
Onward
that is
Onward
like
is
being in the
like a
military.
flashback. Onward is like a flashback. I won't I won't lie. It's like what? This is so real. But like I don't I don't have many people that play Onward that much anymore. So it's like Onward was really good, and I heard rumors. I can't guarantee anything, but I heard rumors that Onward's going to PlayStation VR. And if it does, I think that's awesome. Um,
Can PSVR do a game like Onward?
PSVR is actually very capable of doing things.
Yeah.
I
It
think
just the
people aren't.
maps are kind of big. They might
Well,
have to simplify a little bit. They can do it. Yeah, they
cut
can do
everything
it.
down. Like you got to remember, the PlayStation VR is what it is 720p for each eye. So, and I think it'll work out just fine. Hey, you got to think of this. They got Rec Room working on there just fine. To me, once you do Rec Room on the Vive or the Oculus or the mixed reality, it's hard to go back. Um, it's hard to go and play it again on the PlayStation VR. I'm not hating on PlayStation VR. It's just once you experience like really good tracking.
So, are you gonna go into my contest for the PSVR game?
I'll try it. I'll join it, and if I don't win, I'm gonna buy the game anyways. So
Well, it's I'm giving it away. It's a fast travel games. They're based out of Stockholm, uh, if I pronounce it right, Stockholm. And
Stockholm.
this is their first game ever, but they're not complete newbies. They've made other games, like they made Battlefield franchise. There's teams on there, people on there that were in Mirror's Edge, but no VR games. So this is like,
Their
these are
first
just the people
getting their
that
toes
worked on
wet.
those games. But this is their first VR game, and February 20th, the PSVR version of that game came out, and the company sent me a key. And unfortunately, I sold my PlayStation, and so I just decided to pass it along to my fans and give them the key. But then the PC version's coming out on March the 20th, and that's the one I'm going to get for sure because it's another bow shooter. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've watched videos on it, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the game. I actually want to play it on the PlayStation because I want more reasons to play my PlayStation VR besides like Farpoint.
The problem with the
Farpoint.
PlayStation is that they got really awful controllers for it. The Move controllers are
I
awful.
have the aim controller, and the aim controller is. I wish there was something like that for like the Vive. I really.
There
Well, there
is.
is.
Did you see?
It's just expensive.
Did you see those? They had it on a mixed reality TV. Those like contraptions where you put your controllers into the stalks and you can move it, and it's like a rifle. The only thing
I saw that. I saw something like that.
the only thing
I
bad
saw.
about it is when you're gonna like if you're carrying on this rifle thing, it's cool, right? But when you're gonna reload, you have to take one of the controllers out of the little thing that's housed in, and then you have to make the reload motion the way you do it, and then stick it back in this little thing, and it just if they could make it for every game out there, it's a simple little fix that make it to where like rifle mode. If you have it like in that rifle mode where you could just hit a button and it'll reload for you or something. That way you wouldn't have to be doing all that.
Yeah, you know,
or something different to
I'm
reload.
fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with mine. The only thing I don't like is the little circles on the top, and I always seem to bump them together.
Well, no,
Uh,
like I was playing that boxing game today. You know how many times I hit myself and the controllers because you have to like put your arms up in that boxing game. It's called Thrill of the Fight, and I filmed an hour and a half, great footage, and you have to put your hands up in front of your head and stuff like that, and it's like real looking people. It's not like that cartoony boxing game. It looks like real looking people, and it seems like the AI has different moves that it can do. You know, it's not just like a scripted thing like I forget what it's called, Knockout League,
yeah.
where it's like very cartoony looking. And I was thinking about getting that game, but then every time like I look at a boxing game, everybody's like, "Oh, it's not as good as Thrill of the Fight," and it was $9.99 on Steam, and I'm telling you, you should
999.
get it. I think you would like this game. Uh,
I'll check it out. You know, like I know right now I got a back collection of games that need to be played, and that not to just be all VR, but like I got my Switch. I play a lot, and I love my Switch. The Switch
I haven't played it.
really.
I haven't played it since Mario came out, Odyssey.
You haven't played it since Odyssey?
Yeah,
That
and
was
I
like
only
what,
played
October?
Odyssey
That was like
for
October, November?
yeah, but I only played Odyssey for like a couple weeks, and I stopped and I put it down
Stop.
and I haven't touched it at all since I got in. The only 2D game that I've touched since I've been into VR is Fallout 4. And the only reason I did that is because right now it's so janky in VR to go through those menus with this tiny little trackpad. And sometimes you're scrolling through like your inventory and it thinks that you went right or left, and that makes me so mad.
Yeah,
and
well,
and you try
you
to
gotta
go
remember
back
though
and then
that
you're going back and you're sliding two menus over, and it's just so ridiculous. But that's why I kind of want to play it in 2D right now, and it looks fantastic. And I heard that now there's a way where you can be playing the game, and when you get to the menu part, you can just have your Xbox controller like handy nearby and use the Xbox controller to do all the menus now. And if that's true, then that's going to be great. But for right now, what I was going to do is you can just move your save file, and you move your save file from one to the other, and it's the same save files. As long as you don't like start putting any crazy like DLC or different mods on there, and you have both versions the same, you can go back and forth on your save files.
yeah, it was like because like I said before, it was designed for the Vive. That's another reason why I got my Vive is because certain games are going to the Vive, and I knew that the Rift wasn't going to get. Um,
Yeah,
and
but
that
there's a
was
lot
one
of
of the
games that
selling.
came out for the Rift that you didn't
Yeah,
get on the Vive, and they
yeah,
still
but I
played them
just
on the Vive. They
yeah.
had this beef with Bethesda. I don't know why, and it's affecting all us. We have enough problems in VR right now without having these two really big giant of companies.
I wouldn't say problems. I would say more like
Yeah, we have some serious problems in VR right now.
it's not a problem. In the end it'll solve itself. But
You know,
I don't want to call it a problem because problems are like ending. The problems will okay. A way I look at a problem is very, very, very bad. VR is not in a very bad state right now. VR is actually, I personally think, doing really good. You know,
yes. But
PlayStation to
remember when
sell 2
3D
million
TVs came out?
units. Oh, dude, 3D TVs were
Yeah,
terrible.
where you had the glasses and stuff like
It
that.
was it
And when they
was
first
terrible.
came out,
It was
and
terrible.
the technology companies thought these people were going to buy these things left and right. They were charging 3, 4 times more than a regular TV for these things, and they thought it was going to be big, and VR might go the way of that.
I don't think
There's
so.
this
I don't
perfect
think so.
storm right
VR's
now.
been around. VR's been around for a long time. It's been
Not modern
it,
VR. The modern
modern
VR came
VR.
out when Vive and Oculus came out.
Well, I I don't know about that because like when I was in the army, we had VR. It was a
There's always
very
been. I'm talking about commercial, like Joe and
commercial
Jane
use
can go to the
VR.
store and buy it right now.
Yes, correct. Like I don't think VR is going anywhere. It is here to stay. PlayStation wouldn't be backing with this much. They sold 2 million units during Black Friday. That is
But that's chump
outrageous.
change compared to how many PlayStations they sold.
It is, but you know what? That is a big number compared to how many Vives and Rifts they've sold.
You know what's
Or
sad? I don't think there's been a VR game that's broke 1 million copies. I think right now Fallout VR, I think is the highest grossing game on Steam, and I think it's around 250,000 if I read that correct somewhere that I saw that. Or maybe 500,000 tops, but I know it's nowhere near 1 million. I think it's 250,000, and to them that is, I guess, considered a success. But you see what happened. They released this the hugest game coming out for VR, Fallout 4 VR, and they never went back and really fixed anything.
they've been fixing a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
To me,
they did.
they fixed it. The issue with the height issue, and they fixed it. The graphics look cleaner.
A
And
lot of the stuff that the people fix are just regular fans fixed on their own.
well, I don't.
It was
I
such
have
an
a problem with
afterthought.
that.
When you play that game, you can see that when they designed that game, they had no intention of putting VR into it. No
Well,
intention.
it's like playing Payday VR. Payday was it Payday
Oh, that's
2
a
in
mess
VR?
too.
That is
Some
a
people
hot
love
mess.
that game.
Hey, you know what? I watched a video. Someone sent me a link to a video in an email of someone playing Payday 2 in VR on their Vive, and I I got a kick out of it. I got a kick out of it.
I mean, I
there's
like
a
the
lot of
music and it's kind of exciting and stuff like that, but I just don't like the never-ending stream of cops. And it's just hundreds and hundreds of cops that you're just massacring.
it's it's the same thing if you played in 2D. So I
Yeah,
actually was
I never played it in
I
2D.
bought it. I bought it at the right time. It was like $20 for like the $150 version with like all the extras and stuff like that. And it was $20. I tried to get Glenn to buy it. He didn't want anything to do with it. Actually, his excuse was, "I don't have money." I'm like, "Yes, you do." Um,
You know, if I
I
was
try
a
to.
VR company, you know, there's some great opportunities that they can make some awesome. Remember Alien Isolation?
I think so.
It was the one where you're on this space station and you're hiding from this alien. In 2D, that for me was scary. I couldn't imagine a game like that in VR. And I know they have this way that you can convert it to VR. If you ever have a chance, check it out, Alien Isolation. And basically, you're hiding from the alien, from aliens. And when you hear him start, like, if he's nearby and stuff like that, you have to hide, like, in a locker. And you can, like, kind of, like, look out. Or you have to, like, if he's coming by, like, you have to hide from him. And in VR, that's just so much more scary. You know, especially
Yeah.
jump scares. I hate jump scares in VR.
All right. So to change the subject up a little bit, we'll get away from VR since we've been on VR the whole time. So let's talk about some tech toys. You have any ideas about tech toys that are coming out? Anything cool? You were looking forward to, or anything at all? Cameras,
Yes, the tech toy I'm looking forward to is NVIDIA's next GPU.
GPU. They're gonna charge $5,000
No,
for.
no, 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 no. Why? They didn't charge $5,000 when the 1080s came out, or when I got my 1070 Ti. You know, it
Well,
was
I
500
totally
bucks.
agree with that. I totally agree with that. I'm just going off of the cryptocurrencies
That's different.
killing
That's not
prices right
that's
now.
not MSRP. I think right now they can release, if they call it the 2070. They can release the 2070 for 480 bucks. All right, and the 2080 for 600 bucks. And
You
later
think
on
it'll
down
be
the
that low?
road, a 2080 Ti, you know, for 800 bucks or something
You
like
think
that.
it's gonna be that cheap?
Yeah,
I,
I think that's about fair.
hey,
I don't think
you
I don't
know,
think the 2080 or the 1180, whatever they're going to call it, it's going to be any more than 700 bucks. And that's going to be, they're saying right now that the 2070 is going to be just as powerful as the 1080 Ti for the 2070. All right, or the
well,
1170,
then
depending
why
whatever
don't
they're
they
going to
just
call it.
why don't they just drop the price on the other one instead of making a whole new unit? It's just, I'm not gonna argue about
Well,
that
no,
because
it's
I
not that
just.
they're going to drop the prices. They're not manufacturing them no more. They're not making them. Right now, they're making, right now, their factories are busy making all these new line of graphics cards coming out. That's why we have such a shortage, because nobody's able to fit demand, because they're not making all the 1080 Ti's, all the 1070 Ti's that are on like in people's machines or on the shelf are all the ones that are ever going to be made ever.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, for right now, they're
it
going to
is.
concentrate on the new ones, and they have to build up stock. So when they release these things, it's not going to be super hard to get one, and people are going to be charging $1,500 to get one. They wanted to have so everybody can have an opportunity to buy them. That's why they're coming out with two lines. They're coming out with the regular gamer line, which is called Ampere, and they're going to come out with their crypto line, which is called Turning, which goes back to World War II when they had the Turning computers that broke Nazi code and all that.
Yeah. I
Or
to
World War
me,
One was it?
I don't even use my desktop. I use my laptop for. I have two laptops. I have my Mac, my MacBook Pro, and
See,
then
I
I
don't have
have
that luxury. I can't do that. I have
yeah.
to run VR games and tape them and do this and that. It takes up horsepower.
Yeah. Well, I was in college. I needed a Mac, and the PC I had was like garbage. And a Mac's still a good computer. Like it's not, I'm not gonna be doing stuff like I used to do on it, but it still works. And I got, I use my gaming laptop to game, and it's a power horse. Like I'm playing, and things look amazing. You know,
Now, do you
that
use
computer.
the monitor that's on your gaming laptop?
Yeah.
Because
I
you
was
got the same
actually.
size screen as I do, right? That
Yeah, 15.5 or something like that.
yeah, fifteen point
Um,
six inch screen. See, I
uh,
don't like that screen for gaming. I think it's kind of too
I don't.
small
Well,
compared to
I
my
don't
regular
really.
monitor.
90% of the gaming I'm doing is in VR when I play with the computer. Um, like I do have Rust. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Bryce got it for me for Christmas. I do have that, and I do have a couple other games. And if I want to play some on a bigger screen, we got a 4K TV. I, I just, you can play, I've played my games with my headset on.
This is
2D
what I
games.
want. A DJI. I got this.
I have, I have one.
Yeah, I know
I
you
have
do.
the DJI goggles. Yeah.
But you saying they're like $800? I'd rather save that money right now.
Maverick Air. The Maverick Air.
Yeah, I got the money right now
So
saved up for my graphics card. That's what I'm saving up for. Or I
yeah.
could buy one of these. But these, I mean, they're cool and all, but
Well, let me tell you about these Mavericks and these DJI drones.
yeah.
So I have one, and everybody that knows me knows I have one, and I'm very big into drones and flying, and I like space, and I like anything that's not on the ground, except birds. They're annoying in the morning. But I love my drone. I had the Spark. I've had a bunch of stuff. I was amazed by like model aircrafts as a kid growing up. Um, this DJI makes really good drones. The Spark is the cheapest one. I think they lowered the price down to $399. That's just for the Spark itself. You can control it with your hand with gestures or with your phone. You can also buy the Fly More package. And with the Fly More package, it comes with a controller, extra battery, and some extra props.
Now,
That
what's
my
the
dad
ones where you put the goggles on? Like I've
goggles.
seen like
Goggles
are they
actually
for like
work with.
racing or something?
So the goggles, the DJI goggles, I have a pair. I'm actually trying to sell them. Because I bought them thinking I was going to use them more, but then federal law states that you have to maintain eye contact with the drone. It's hard to do that when you have goggles on. But the goggles work with the Spark. You can look around, and you know, the camera will look where you look.
Federal
The Maverick.
law. Like what is it? Like a cop gonna like pull
Oh,
you over because you're in the park with the goggles on? There,
There's big fine. So the FCC. So I am licensed by the FCC and registered, whatever you want to call it. You have to go on there. My dad actually was talking to my dad the other day on the phone, and we're talking about that because he got a drone too, the exact same one I got, because he saw the videos I was posting, like the one I just edited for shits and giggles the other day, and I just told you I had to check it out, tell me what you think, and you were shocked, like that video, the video quality is really good.
Yeah, that
It
looks
shoots.
cool. I mean, I like when it shoots up in the air and then, you're just getting that panoramic view of it. It's pretty cool.
It's really cool. It's fun. At first, if you don't know how to fly, like if you could play an Xbox or PlayStation, you can fly a drone.
But
Let
I
me
mean,
just
I
bring
can
that.
get that with $5 worth of helium balloons. You know,
Just tape like a disposable camera to a helium balloon.
you tape up
I
the
like.
camera, okay, and then you set up like a device where you can call it, and it will blow up the balloon so it comes back down.
That you started making like improvised like explosive devices when you start doing stuff like that.
I mean, it don't
I
have to be
like.
so complicated, but it could just be something that can get triggered somehow, and you can just make it, where it could pop it. I'm sure there's some kind of mobile way that you can set something that gets hot or makes a flame
I
or does
Now here's the
something where it could
dilemma
pop the
with that.
balloon, and then they could have it. Like those model planes that go up in the air and then they come back down with like a little parachute.
Yeah, I know that, but here's the dilemma with this. All right, so according to the FCC, or is it FAA? Well, FAA, right?
Yeah.
Federal Aviation. Yeah. All right. So it's the FAA, not the FCC. The FCC, they're another problem. I don't want to talk about them. I have not liked them for a while, but the FAA, that's what it is. There's guidelines like you cannot go above 400 feet. That is beyond you. If the only way there is a way you can go over 400 feet. If you're like there's a building and it's in your way, you're allowed to go 400 feet above that building. Uh, so it's a little getaway. Like I flew 800 feet in the air because I flew over a 400-foot tower. Technically, if it's 1,000-foot tower, you can go, 1,400 feet up in the air.
But
Technically,
that's only for
uh,
like consumer use, right?
uh, so you can get a commercial as well. It is a lot more work. There's a lot more testing to do. But if you can make money off of filming drone footage, but to do that, if you don't have so if you're just flying around and you're just taking drone footage and you're just trying to sell someone, you're committing a crime. So you want to get a commercial license, so you can take because you can make some good money. I recommend people like hey, you got a drone and you're good at flying it, take your videos, go online, go to the FAA's website, take the class, get licensed, make money.
I've never done all
Uh,
that. I've never done all that. Like fishing, I never gotten a fishing license. The only license I ever gotten was driving, and that's because I had to.
I
Like if I had a drone, I would not bother with none. I'd be wearing my goggles and I'd be racing that thing through the neighborhood. You know?
So many people are like that, and it's like I just safer than sorry. Like I like technically like where I fly, like I am like on the borderline of like a no-fly zone. I gotta call like the hospital, like, hey, I'm about to fly, so just letting you know, can I fly? Am I good to fly? Okay, plane's coming.
You ever watched
So
you ever watched Dead Mouse? You know who he
Dead
is?
Mouse. I
He's like one of my favorite DJs. He used to be. Well, he still
Yes,
is.
Dead Mouse.
Yeah.
He's really good. He did really good in the Tron movie with the song.
No, that was
I
Daft
love
Punk.
that was Daft. Are you sure that was Daft? It might have been Daft Punk.
Trust me, if I know Tron, I know Tron. No,
I know you know Tron.
Dead
I just
Mouse. He lives in Canada,
you
and
know
he
what? It was Dead or it was
Daft
Daft
Punk.
Punk. He did that song.
Yeah.
So I remember it clearly now.
Yeah,
Yep,
my favorite
I bet.
song on that album was "Son of Flint." But anyways, the reason I mention him is because he has a thing on YouTube. He has the baddest drones, like the baddest of the baddest. If you ever get a chance to go see, put Dead Mouse and put like drones, and I think he's got like 5 of them. And these things they get pretty big. They're like huge. You
Dude,
know?
yeah, the drones they get expensive. Like you can go buy you can buy a $20 drone at like Walmart or like probably like Walgreens or something like that. Or
Yeah,
you can
that's
spend like $10,000 on a drone. They even got drones that carry people. But just don't be the Casey Neistat of the drone and fly your drone downtown New York City where it's complete no fly zone. Don't get in trouble. Do
yeah.
not get in trouble. If
You're
you get
getting
in
closer to the
trouble,
city. You don't
I
want to get.
warned you. Yeah, if you get in trouble, I warned you. You heard it from me. Do not be stupid. Do not break the law. Do not get
In
caught. Do
Dubai, they have drones that fly people. In
I
Dubai,
believe it.
but it's
I
not
believe
working
it.
too well from what I hear. I mean, it's so and so.
Like our local news station. I hate our local news station. They're terrible. I feel like I'm getting like a third world news when I watch the news here. But they have drones. They do drone footage. I think their pilots are not the greatest drone pilots in the world. They could do a lot better, but then again,
So let me tell you this: for VR, like I told you, like to me, right now there's really bad problems in VR right now, and we just touched a little bit on the graphics card situation. All right,
yeah.
and it's not just that. RAM is super expensive to build a computer right now. All right.
That's why people are buying gaming laptops these days. They're buying gaming laptops because every gaming laptops aren't overly expensive now, and the quality is really good. You can't argue that gaming
Yeah, but
laptops are like
trust me,
ridiculously
a
shocking
gaming
now.
laptop is no less than like $1,000. All right, a thousand
Yes.
dollars for a gaming laptop, and you're getting like a what, 1060, 1070 at the most. For that $1,000, I can still build a decent computer, and probably still
You're
get a
not getting a graphics
1060 in
card.
there, huh?
You're not gonna get a new graphics card, and unless if you're like going super cheap because you gotta buy the
The problem with
RAM and RAM right.
laptops is the heating. They get loud. You're gonna have to wear a headset with them because they get kind of loud when they start, throttling up, and those fans are like,
Well,
they're
check
not.
out. I recommend to all our viewers and listeners that are listening to this right now, if you're looking for a gaming laptop, the one look up is it the Acer Predator Helios 300? Is that what I have?
Yeah,
I think.
that's what you
Yeah, I
have.
think that's what I. Check that out if you're looking for something. I have a desktop. I haven't touched it. I have not touched it. That you can find that computer, that laptop for $950. It has what is it, a 1060 in there, 16 gigs of RAM. The only thing I don't, and it
Yeah,
doesn't
my
get really
laptop I think
loud
it
at
was like
all.
$300 more than yours, around there.
Yeah, and it's the exact same specs.
But
Exact same
mine's made by
specs.
MSI.
Yeah, yours is made by MSI, mine is made by Acer, and Acer's a really good company, and MSI and Acer are very good at support. And if you have any questions or anything, like I contacted, I was like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
They replied to me. Like they have a chat app on the computer, and then they don't load it up with bloatware. I hate bloatware.
Yeah, that's the thing about my computer. Like I was telling you the other day, I don't know what to take off of there or not. And people are saying, "Oh, just do a fresh install of Windows and stuff like
Yeah.
that." But if I take off, what I'm worried mostly about is the networking software. If I take the stuff that gets the internet to my laptop, now I have to go to my other computer and trying to download the right drivers and then put that on a USB stick and then stick it in the laptop and make sure I got the right drivers back on that computer.
Well, it's and then like how you're going back to RAM. It's like RAM is expensive,
Yeah.
really expensive right now. Like my computer has 16 gigs of RAM in it. That is really good. Um,
Mine's got
that's a really
40.
good for in your gaming laptop.
No, my computer. My game laptop's got 16.
Yeah, 16. That's really good. And you think of how much RAM costs
It's
right
expensive
now.
now, yeah.
It's really expensive. You think about all the items are like inside my gaming laptop, and like it's cheaper to buy the laptop than it is to buy the parts. If you start doing the math, and like unless you're buying stuff like used or you're like scrapping old computers you have. But
Yeah, the thing about the laptops is that I can't later on down the line if I want to, get a badder graphics card, I can't swap it out. I can do that with my computer, but I can't do that with my laptop.
yeah, well, it's my desktop takes up a lot of power. Um,
And I got my
it,
my computer for $1,000 in November. I paid 500
yeah,
for the graphics card, 400 for the computer, and I paid like the power supply, and I got some ins and outs. But basically, it cost me $1,000.
you should have spent that extra like $100 and got a one step up in graphics card. I
What? A
know that you had
1070
the.
Ti is a great graphics card.
Oh, it is. I'm not hating on it at
There
all. It
wasn't
is.
no step up
Yeah,
at that time. I got it because it was the
1080.
newest architecture that they had at the time. It was something, I could have got a 1080 for just a little bit more. It was like $50, $100 more. And I could have got a 1080 Ti, but that was like $800. But that was it. I didn't have the $800. I barely had the 500, and I got that.
Yeah, because Glenn in his computer, Glenn has a 1070. He has 8 gigs of RAM, and he's a Intel i5 like 2 gens ago. His computer's good. Like
It's
it,
a
it
big
is,
difference
if
between i5 and i7 though.
it is a huge difference.
The
It
hyper
is a big.
threading is really important on a lot of things, not on everything, but on a lot of things. That comes in really handy. But it's that single core performance that you really need with those Intel chips, and it gets important.
It does. Computers. I thought they were dying and they were dead like 4 years ago. Like, yeah, computers are like part of the past. The only people are gonna have computers are gonna be like graphic designers and businesses. And computers are selling again. Laptops are selling like hotcakes. Like, when was the last time you known people that went out and got laptops? And like, I'm shocked at home.
The only reason I
They
did is
say,
because the graphics card prices are so high.
yeah,
For the
actually, you were
price of the
gonna.
graphics card, I bought a whole computer, and I can take it
Yeah,
with me. I can't do that with that computer. I can't take it
yeah.
anywhere I
That,
want to go.
that's another reason why like I'm using my laptop. It does everything for me. I can take it anywhere.
And it's a lot cheaper
Um,
on electricity for you. You know,
yeah, it is because
I
my
try to run my laptop
desktop.
as much as I can because it does save on electricity in the long run.
Yeah, yeah. It is what it is. So like, I got another subject to talk about.
Sure.
So we are on the upcoming of the Samsung Galaxy S9. I know you had the Samsung Galaxy S8, correct?
Yes. Beautiful
Yeah,
phone. I love it.
it is a sexy phone. I've had my differences with Samsung.
It's the best
Had
phone I've
bad
ever had.
experiences, but it is a sexy phone. I tell you what, I don't know what Apple was thinking when they came with the iPhone 10. I think it is stupid and ugly. I was an Apple user for 10 years, so don't call me a Apple hater. I have
My
a MacBook
half
Pro in
brother
front of me.
got I guess they're doing 2 for 1 on their phones. Buy one, you
Yeah.
get one free on the Apple phone. And the Apple phone is a lot bigger than my phone. Like the footprint
Did
of
he
it.
get the plus? Did he get the plus?
Yes, you got
Like
the
the
plus,
iPhone
but the
is
screen,
smaller.
the screen is exactly like mine, but mine's longer, like up and down.
In the
It's just a
quality of this
tiny
phone.
little bit longer, but my phone, like the bezels are so much smaller than in his phone. It just takes up more room. I mean, plus he does have the case on it and everything else too. He had it
Yeah.
on there, but I'm looking at it and the screen is exactly the same as far as width, but my screen's like a tiny bit longer. But his has just more bezels on the side. You can tell there's more bezels.
Yeah,
Like the bezels are
that's the one
bigger.
thing I feel like about the when I left the iPhone. I told you I just got rid of my iPhone and I just got the LG G6. Yes, I know everybody's gonna say
I don't
something
know
about
why you
that,
did
but
that. If you had an
I
iPhone,
did
I
it
would.
because it was.
I'm not an iPhone guy, but I would have rather have an iPhone than the LG phone. I hate
I
LGs.
hate iOS 11. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It just
You can
ever
learn it.
since iOS 11 came out, it has driven me nuts. They said they fixed it, and I believe it, but it drove me to the. I was losing my mind. I was like, and Glenn was saying, get the Samsung Galaxy S8. He has that phone. He loves it to death.
You know
I'm
what
like,
makes me mad about this phone though? In America, they only come out with Snapdragons. In the rest of the world, they come out with the Samsung designed APUs, the ones that have both a CPU and the GPU
yeah,
on the one die, and I think they're called Ilios or Ethios. Am I pronouncing that right?
Ethos.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
the
so. It's
graphics
been a
chip.
while since I worked in the mobile industry, so
And
um,
Qualcomm, for some reason, has this like stranglehold on the Galaxy phones that come out in America because they have to have a Qualcomm chip in them. And the other chips are so much better from what I hear. But in America, you can get a Galaxy phone without a Qualcomm chip in it, which makes me mad. I mean, they make good
well,
chips,
well,
but they're not as good as example as the Apple processors. Those are superior in every way. The only problem with that is they're under their Apple walled-in garden, which I hate about that.
yeah, well, it is what it is. I'm not gonna judge on that. Um, the S9 that's coming out. from the rumored pictures I've been seeing around the internet, that's where everybody sees stuff that's upcoming and it's what it's supposed to look like, and you start seeing cases and that's like the final design. But I don't think they're changing very much on the Samsung Galaxy S8 or S9. I do think that they're bringing down the the fingerprint scanner on the back, which is nice.
You know what's really
Uh,
nice is they kept the audio jack.
they kept the audio jack, and that's another thing I have on my phone right there. I got an audio jack.
Yeah.
That is,
I think it's
and
important because I use my Bluetooth a lot, my headphones, but when they die, I'm so glad I had that. I can just plug that in and I can just use my headphones, whatever, and it's just there. I'd rather
I
have a
love the
bigger
audio
phone as
jack.
long as it's got that. I don't mind. Just always please have a headphone jack.
That's why Glenn actually got rid of the iPhone, because they got rid of the audio jack, and he's like, I need a new phone. I broke my screen. He got the Samsung, and
They do make
I
good
got the
screens.
LG. Now here's the thing. Here, you want to know why I got the LG? You want to know why? Does everybody want to know why? All the viewers, all the listeners on the podcast. The reason why I got it is I had $1,000 phone, and I was on Amazon because I'm an Amazon Prime user. I know you don't have the Prime stuff down
No,
by you, or
I'm
the
not paying
fresh delivery. Like,
$100 to get Amazon Prime.
yeah, we got to pay for it up here, but we get same day. Like, we get delivery within 2 hours, which is awesome. I'm on Amazon. I'm like, LG G6. It was like $200 brand new from LG. It has ads on it, but I don't care because I don't really care what's on my screen when I'm not looking at it. Um, and it's like $200. $200. I went from $1,000 phone to a $200 phone.
But you can
That is
tell the
actual
difference though.
price. No, 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 no. This phone is a $700 phone. It's a $700 phone, but Amazon had it discounted for $200 because it has Amazon ads. So, like, I don't know if you can see it, but let me
There's
see. I'll just
LG, the LG flagship phone. I thought was their G series.
their
Isn't
G
that their
series.
flagship?
The LG. This is the LG G6. So
Oh,
this
is
is
that what
their
that is? The
newest.
G6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not gonna buy no like
I never
Q6,
liked
whatever it
that
is.
button in the back. I never
I,
liked that about
it's
LGs.
right where my hand lands.
Another
So
thing about LG phones is when you flip them, I always had trouble when I would like flip it like upside down and like right side up. They would get stuck sometimes. They wouldn't like go back and forth too.
you know what?
I didn't like
You know
my
what?
LG phone.
I've had LG. Okay, so I worked at in the mobile industry, and I've tried a little bit of everything. I've had Sony phones. I really like Sony
Ooh, I
phones.
hate it. That was my first phone ever. It's a Sony
Uh,
Ericsson and it had an antenna that
oh
came in
no
and
no
out.
no!
That's
I
a
did
Sony phone.
Sony after Ericsson. Yeah, I did Sony after Ericsson after they got rid of it. Um,
What,
yeah,
what,
wow,
what
yeah.
was the Sony phone
Eh,
after Ericsson? That was the only Sony phone I knew of.
They had the Sony Xperia Z1X and then the Z1.
Oh.
Uh, those are good phones. That was like, and it was waterproof too. Like my brother got one, and we jumped into a hot tub filming it. Like he did, like was it Snapchat back then? I don't know what it was,
Hmm.
but like he was holding his phone out in front of him, and he cannonballed into the pool and into the hot tub, and I'm like, my mom, what? But yeah, no, the phone's really good. I really like the phone. The phone had a nice feel. It had a nice look. The style on it, at the time it wasn't. This is like 2014, 15, no, 2014, 13 at earliest. I love the phones, and then I got the LG G4. Now, the whole time I've had an iPhone, I had like two phones going on. Not hoes and bros, but I had two phones. Working in the mobile industry, so I had like LG G4. I think I had the G3. I had the HTC. I love HTC phones. I miss them. I wish they were as big as they, or good as they were back in the day. Um,
I always thought they wanted too much money for those things. They were like
you know,
they were like huge bricks. I thought they were kind of sexy, but there's just too much money that they wanted for them.
you want to talk about too much money is Samsung and Apple wanting to charge $1,000 for a phone. That's too much money.
Samsung's not
That
charging
is
$1,000 for a phone. That's Apple
the
doing
Note.
that.
The Note 8 is over $1,000.
The Note, well, maybe the Note, yeah. But you know what's
Yeah,
going
the
to be a
Note,
sexy phone is when that Samsung 10 comes out with their
the 10.
flexible screens. Have you seen them?
Well, that's all hearsay and rumor. They have not said anything official.
It's
So
10. Trust me, it's going to be 10.
I'll
10 is
believe
going
it.
to be the
I'll believe
big
it when I
phone.
see it.
They've
I'll
had the
believe it when I see
technology
it.
for a long time. It's going to be a phone that's a regular size as a regular phone, but then when you open it up, it's going to be like having a tablet in your hand.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I just want to see how a screen can keep flexing over and over again, keep folding, and not get worn out. I
Technology is there, but I'll believe when I see it.
oh, it's coming.
They well when it comes, I'll check it out. But I will believe when I see it. I'm not gonna get too rushed up into that. I'm not too worried about flexing screens. I'm trying to make my phone last like 2 years at least. I'm sick and tired of buying a new phone every year. I can't believe I did that with iPhones every year. I bought a new iPhone every year, and my experience didn't change. It actually got worse every time. My experience with smartphones has not gotten better. It's gotten worse. I'm expecting more. When you get a new phone, you expect it to do something new.
Yeah.
And phones haven't done something new in like 3 years.
I just want a
It
nice
takes
looking
pictures.
display because I
The
use
Sam
YouTube a lot.
Samsung keeps saying the whole camera, the S9 is with the camera. You know what? There we have been going backwards in cameras. Like you think of the Nokia Lumia 1020 with that big huge camera hump, that 41 megapixel camera. Like we've been going backwards in technology. Like Apple has been playing catch up. Microsoft enjoys playing catch up. I feel like Microsoft doesn't know what they are doing anymore.
Uh, I think, I think they. I don't know what they. I don't think. I don't know what they want to do right now. They're on this. They have a problem that they don't have enough of their. They don't have enough of their own games. You know, they don't have any big hits. Like
They
you know
don't
how
have anything, even software wise. They just can't keep people with their stuff. The phones, the
they had a lot
iPhone.
of misses. They had a lot of misses. The Zune,
They
the phones. They've had a
I
lot of.
love the Zune. I love
If
my
it
Zune
wasn't for
HD.
Windows, Microsoft would be gone by now.
And somehow like it's like Apple's like the biggest technology company, and like I think Google's like in third place, or Samsung's in third place, and Google's like in fourth place, and then there's Microsoft like in like 15th place on largest tech
Well,
companies. Like
Microsoft makes a lot of money. They make a lot of money off their games division,
they
and
they have a
they're
lot of money
successful.
saved up. They're like Nintendo. Microsoft is like
Way
Nintendo.
bigger.
They
They're
just
way bigger than Nintendo. Way
Yeah,
bigger.
but
But
they just have like a bank of
they got
cash.
big daddy bucks. Yeah.
Yeah, they have just like a bank of cash. It's like when are they gonna run out? Like
If they
I
keep
see.
making big mistakes, they will. You know,
I don't want Microsoft to fail. Like
if the
they
next
did.
console from Microsoft is considered a flop, and I don't think they can have another flop of a console. And that's not to say this console was a flop. The Xbox X, Xbox is not a flop. The Xbox One, it's just that the PlayStation did so much better.
The
They
PlayStation.
blew it out of the water, man. They just did so much better that they just blew everybody else out. And
Well, I can
that's
say I'm safe to say this. I have Xbox One, I have the PlayStation 4, and I have the Nintendo Switch. I don't remember the last time I turned on my Xbox One. I think it's been a year.
That's why I sold my PlayStation. I never turn once I got PC and VR, I never turned my PlayStation back on.
Yeah,
And that's the problem. Like I'm the only reason I'm keeping my Switch around is because like when I go on road trips,
traveling.
yeah, that is a greatest system. My laptop, it won't go for more than an hour and a half on a game. You can't take that
Yeah,
around with you. The Nintendo Switch is way better for stuff like that.
it is. So like we've been talking a lot about the VR and like the Switch and stuff like that in computers. I'm actually looking forward to the Samsung Galaxy S9. I want to see what Samsung has to bring to the table. I wasn't really impressed with Apple's uh what they brought to the table last year at the end. It was that September. Wasn't really happy with it. My brother, I think my brother actually got the iPhone 8, and he did with all wireless charging, and I'm like, oh, my phone wireless charges too, and you know, that we've had wireless charging for a while, and he was like all happy about it. But hey, you know, I'm happy for iPhone users.
You
Like
know what
I'm
I
not
think
hating
the
on it.
biggest story of VR right now is, and I don't hear anybody ever talking about it, and it should be like the biggest thing in VR right now, is, at least for me anyways, is where is Resident Evil 7 VR?
It's
This is
coming
money.
eventually.
A lot of people, if they threw that thing on Steam tomorrow and sold it for $50, people would buy it. That is still considered the best game on PlayStation VR. One of the best games on PlayStation VR.
See, that's what separates me and you. I don't think it's the best game. I don't
I
think
didn't
it's
say it was the best game. I said it's still considered one of the best games. If you ask, a poll of people that own PlayStation VRs, it comes up over and over again. It's a really high rated game on that system, and for a lot of people, it is the best game on that system as far as the VR system. And I played it. I thought it was a great game. It did make me get a little bit sick, but that was when I first started getting into VR. Nowadays games don't really make me that sick, and on PC it would just play so much better anyways. The year contract is up. What is wrong with Capcom? If Capcom could make all this money on a game, and they love to make money on rehashes and stuff like that, why haven't they put it out? They don't have to worry about Sony anymore. They don't have, the contract is up. The year is up. Where is this game? Nobody's talking about it at all. I don't ever hear anybody ever saying nothing about it.
This is where we urged viewers and listeners, hey, email Capcom and say we want Resident Evil. Or was it Resident Evil
You know why?
7?
You know what the
Resident Evil
reason
7
is though?
VR.
It's because that's what I told you, that VR is having some really big problems. Because I think a lot of companies are shying away from VR now. These big companies that were thinking about getting into VR, they did their wait and see. They did their sit back and see what the other, what would happen. And it hasn't taken off. It's taken off to a point in the PlayStation realm, but it hasn't really taken off in the PC realm. There's not enough money to be made. These companies,
it's money. It's money that they know the viewers are on PlayStation VR. They're not on, like you call us high-end VR gamers. Like you can call us that, the high-end VR gamers, but our numbers, like the Vive and the Rift and the mixed reality, all added together, don't even touch the PlayStation VR sales.
no.
So developers are looking at that and they're like, okay, well, there's 2 million of those sold. Well, there's more than that sold, but there's 2 million of those sold. There's not even that. I don't even think they've made 1 million sales in Vive Rift or Vive.
I don't think they have either. I'm not sure what the numbers are, but the problem is that you have to put this contraption on you, and you have to do all these things. People just want easy. People want to be able to sit back in their couch, throw on a game. That's why the Switch is so successful, because you can just sit on your couch. You can go anywhere you want. You can go in the toilet and play their little game and not have to worry about putting nothing on, setting nothing up, having, everything this. And I don't think that's ever going to change. I don't think in the short future of it, it's not going to be that easy.
Learning to adapt. It'll happen. Learning will happen. People are lazy as shit these days.
It might go the way of remember the 3D TVs? Back to that again. I'm just saying that it could happen.
So. I think you're just being negative. I just think you're being negative. You're predicting
it might be a niche market.
I don't. I think VR is here to stay.
Well, then where's all the big players then? Where's the Naughty Dogs making VR games?
Games don't get developed overnight.
Rockstar, what did they do? They rehashed a detective game and converted it to VR. What did Bethesda do? They got a game that was made for flat and converted it to VR. You know, all these big companies, they're just using whatever they already have and just, oh, making something very,
You know what though? It's something to hold us. It does. You can't make a game overnight. Games take time to make. They're not made overnight. It's some games, depending on how many people you have on a team, could take years to make. So like they're doing stuff easy, quick. How I feel, I just feel like they're doing stuff quick.
I just
They're
don't
getting
think that if you look at the
they're get
majority of the games coming out on Steam, they're all these one-man project. These all they are is like tech demos. And I am so sick of these games where you have a sword or you have a gun and you're going around waving your little sword going tap 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 like that. I want something new. I want something that's why I like
well.
Sprint Vector, because it's different. It's different. It's not where I'm just doing the same motions and shooting people in VR. I'm so tired of shooting people in VR.
It gets annoying, but you know what? It's an adaptation. People have to adapt to it. It takes a while to make games, and right now with Steam has to clean up their store. They have to clean. There's too much garbage on there, and it buries the good games.
VR could go. Remember the Virtual Boy?
Yeah, that was not VR.
I'm just saying that was something different.
That was
something
like
new.
3D.
Something
That was 3D with color.
stereoscopic,
Like
3D. It's
yeah,
very close to VR because basically you had two monitors and they were showing you different things. And when you were inside that little
it was
headset,
improvising 3D. It was improvising 3D, which gave you 3D, but it wasn't VR. There was no VR. Like it was like trying to say the R Zone that was made by Tiger Electronics was VR.
yeah.
So many people said, "Oh, I got my VR." That is, I remember being a kid and kids like, "I got VR, virtual reality, red zone." I like, no, that's like reflecting a LCD display. It is stupid. I had one as a kid. I thought it was the dumbest thing in the whole world. Like Tiger Electronics made like cool little, you remember Tiger Electronics? They made a lot of like
I remember
their
Tiger
cash.
Electronics making like a little like digital football game that I had or something
That
like
was
that.
Mattel. That was
Was it
Mattel.
Mattel?
That was Mattel, I
I thought it
think.
was
I'm
Tiger
pretty sure.
Electronics.
The Tiger, they might have bought like the rights to make it, but I'm pretty sure that was Mattel that came out with it first.
Yeah.
That was way back in the day. I think that was before I was born. That they came out with that because Mattel used to be in the video game systems, and then Tiger Electronics made all those like individual like Power Ranger games and The Lion King. They just got all the license to make these stupid little games, but some odd reason they entertained the crap out of us. Like, I got so happy I got one, and it's like, oh, I remember having to put the or the AAA batteries in there.
I don't know. I've never experienced any. It's been a long time, and there was a time where I was like almost getting sick of games because everything was just coming out and it was coming out the same thing and the same thing, and it's just getting rehashed and rehashed. And I was almost to a point at one point that I was just, you know what, I'm not gonna, because I would get these games that I would pay $60 for, play them, and I'd be like, I don't really like it. And there was very few and far between that it was a game that I kind of liked. But then when I found VR, I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is new. This is totally different. But then even that, like I started seeing all these rehashes and stuff like that. And if something doesn't happen and the more creative ideas start coming out and there's more people getting into VR and VR, to see the prices are too expensive right now. That's the biggest problem.
Give it time. Give it time. All I ask of you is give it time. And then you'll thank me.
Yeah, when the headsets go down, when there's a headset
call.
for $99 or $150, a mainline headset and stuff like that, when you can get an HTC Vive for $199 or you can get an Oculus Rift for $150, I think that's when you're going to see VR get better. And it's got to get simpler.
VR is simple. It's just a lot of stupid people. I'm not calling people stupid. So what it is,
that's simple. It's almost a nightmare for people when they first get it.
Once you have it set up, it's just like, okay, click on the game you want to play.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
But see, like a lot of people on my channel, they got mixed reality headsets, because they're seeing, me, saying, oh, this is good and this is good. But then they get them in their home and they're like, oh my God, I got to download all this stuff for it. And now, I mean, once they get the hang of it and they're doing it for a while, but the barrier of entry is a lot higher than buying a console and plugging it
Well,
in.
if you're buying the mixed reality, the Vive or the Rift, like you're taking that next step. That you're already taking the next step. You should, or if you're buying a Rift, if you're gonna buy a Rift, if you're gonna buy a Vive, if you're gonna buy a mixed reality headset, doesn't matter what one it is. I don't recommend buying the cheap ones. Spend the extra money, get a better quality one. But if you're gonna buy that, you should already know what you're doing with computers. Don't go and buy a computer and a mixed reality headset. Like people, you're not going to see people drop. I'm just going to drop $2,000 because
So
I
you're
want to play
saying you're
VR.
saying well, what's gonna okay? You're saying go out and get the PlayStation VR then. That's simple.
Well, no, what I'm saying,
Or
the PlayStation VR is really simple. But what I'm saying is people aren't just 90. Most people are getting into VR right now already have computers. So that's what I'm trying to get to is like the people are getting into VR are people already in computers, already know what they're doing.
I bet. Have you
So
seen the stats on what people are using for as far as computers are on Steam? A lot of the computers that are in use right now can't even play VR games well.
th- yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the people that are doing VR are
I mean,
already
you still
knows what
got
they're
that.
doing.
You still got guys that cover VR with like 970s and stuff like that. You know, graphics cards.
People experiment to try stuff like, hey, technically you can play the Vive with a 1050 Ti. And the
Yeah, but you're not
1050
gonna get a
Ti.
good experience. Imagine playing it with like a 950. You know.
Yeah, but to each their own. I like, hey, experience is experience. I think if you're gonna get the VR headsets, one of them, any of them, you're gonna have a good experience.
I just
If
think
you get,
my opinion is gaming is not gonna be able to grow VR like we
but
want it. If we
but
want
people,
VR to continue and exist for the next few years, VR is gonna have to spread in other areas. VR is gonna have to spread in the autonomous car. VR is gonna have to spread in hospitals, in doctors' clinics, in
and it
schools.
will. Things take a while to adapt. Things, weren't the video games almost died in the 80s. There was too much of it, and then there wasn't enough. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time. Electric cars weren't a hit overnight. It took time, and now they're really growing on people. It's people just need to learn and they adapt. That's how things are. So enough with the VR stuff.
I love the
If
VR
I
stuff.
just want
That's
to,
what I'm really
well, I know
into.
I love VR. I love VR. I'm just saying it is for the conversation wise. Just moving on to something different and trying to change things up. Just moved around. So right now, I just want to say this. If anybody has questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to message us at our Twitters. Mine is Gunther the Geek, and
Gaming is to life.
yep. And so if you have any questions like that, feel free to hit us up. Questions. Well, I'll answer any questions. People have any topics they want to talk about or have anything they want to talk about, just let us know. We'll be having guests on our nice little podcast here. Do you have any inputs or any last words?
Yes, I am doing that Apex Construct game, and I am gonna put this podcast on my channel, and just put it in the comments and just put it in there once. What you think? What do you think has to happen for VR to go more mainstream? Put that in the comments. Okay, and I will put your name for the drawing, and the drawing will be held on Sunday. So your last day to enter will be on Saturday.
All right. So, and if you are listening to this later past that date, I'm sorry you missed out, but there will be more giveaways on my podcast and also as well as Rich's channel. So other things like that. Also want to just add in a couple other things. Um, so if you guys are listening to or watching this on Rich's channel, you'll also be able to download this via iTunes, Google Play Store, also on a couple of their apps. If you listen to Stitcher Radio or whatnot, you'll be able to find it there. So if you're interested in listening to this and just downloading on the phone, you can do that as well. And we'll be marketing and giving giveaways. So plan is you'll be hearing us 3 days a week. on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Um, Anything
And
else,
I'll be
Rich?
putting more on my description. So I'll be putting links to those places on my description, and I will be announcing the dates more often, so people get a used to of the. See, what I'm hoping is what people start doing. What I love to do. I love to just put on some tech talk, and go to work, and start doing whatever I got to do, and I just listen to people go on about tech talk and what's going on in the world or whatever, like stuff like that. And I enjoy stuff like that. I don't even watch YouTube half the time. I just listen to it. And that's something that I like, and I think there is a market out there and people will like it.
Yeah, and this channel is about everything. That's why it's called the Geek Out. It is talking about everything. So, next week we could be talking about movies or something like that. There are some good movies coming up. Not to say anything,
Yes, I
but
want to
maybe
say Player
Aquaman.
One,
Player
Player
One.
One. I want to see it, and I want to give a review on it. I definitely want to see that movie. I read that book. The only book I've ever read back to back, and I read it in one day, and then in the second reading it took me like 2 days. But I had things to do. But it was a great book.
I read it, and I also got the audio, so I listened to it as well.
And it's
I listened
very
to it while I was laying in
important that
bed.
you guys put your questions in, because I also want to do, like, on our weekend, podcast, put some of the questions of people have been asking, and what do you guys want to know?
All right.
And if you
So,
want to see Gunther's gun collection, maybe one day he'll bless us with that.
all right, maybe not. So, anyways, I want to thank you all for joining us today for this Geek Out. And till next time.
Awesome.
All right. Take care, guys.
See ya.
All right.